It's one step forward and two steps back. Join us for more Spurs hokey cokey right here on the Crowing Cockerel podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Crowing Cockerel podcast. Last week we were back. This week we're back to being rubbish. I'm here with Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello, boys.
And Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. So I'm Graham. And guys, it's getting quite annoying, if we're being honest, isn't it? That we can't have nice things. We had a week of it looking reasonably positive. We go to a team that is near the bottom of the league and we get schooled. And there's the olays from the Nottingham Forest supporters with 20 minutes left because Tottenham Hotspur cannot play football, apparently. Any ideas what happened?
Well, what happened? I mean, it was bad. In a season of bad, that was bad. And the most worrying thing for me is that it was bad for a different reason to the rest of the season. We've obviously been pretty critical of Thomas Frank through this season, tactically and rotation-wise. And I think we've maybe been a little bit guilty of letting the players off a little bit. We haven't really spoken too much about the players, but today we need to. We need to start bringing some accountability because a lot of those kind of non-negotiables when you step onto that pitch just weren't there for us today. You know, there doesn't seem to be any sort of desire, work rate, effort. Real worrying performance.
My issue with it is that the stuff that we've been calling out before today around the performances have felt linked to a tactical choice. And we've gone, oh, come on, Thomas, let's unleash the players. Let's not play so restrictively. Let's dump the double pivot with Bentancur and Palhinha. Let's allow the quality players to play. Let's put Xavi in the 10. And for the last few games, it felt like we were moving towards a more settled first 11, as it were, and a better balance between sort of the defensive and the offensive side of things. Today was just bad, like bad quality, bad touches. I don't know how many passes we missed and didn't complete.
To be fair, our passing stats have come out that the pass accuracy was less than 80%. Now, a good performance is around 90%. So,
Yeah.
And it's not like we were booting it out of our box, was it? We weren't clearing it out of our 18-yard box. This was us trying to pass it to each other.
Well, even Thomas Frank called it out at the end, didn't he? And to be fair to him, I quite liked what he said at the end of that game. And I liked, he was visibly irritated by what he had just seen there. He sounded probably more human than I've heard him sound. I don't really think of him much as a particularly personable interviewee, but yeah, you could tell he couldn't really believe what he'd just witnessed.
Yeah, it was, the quality was really poor. And like you're saying, Mark, about do we need to call out the players? We absolutely do. There's no reason to look at that performance and give an excuse for the basics being that poor and that below par. I don't really understand how it's come to that. And I only have one plausible excuse for this, and unfortunately it goes back to something that I had concerns over a few pods ago, which is that the attitude of the players seems wrong. They don't seem as connected with Frank as you would hope. There's been some good sort of situations this season where we've come back from a losing sort of scoreline. Newcastle being a prime example, but in none of those situations has it been because of necessarily the quality of our play. And I am starting to feel that these players aren't playing for Frank. That's my biggest concern.
Do you know what it looked like to me? And again, this is a huge concern. To me, it looked like those players had almost started believe in a little bit of the hype. Obviously we'd gone
The
three
hyper,
unbeaten.
the draw against Newcastle and beating a really poor Brentford side and like the winnable of winnable games in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But for the first time, we were playing a game where you would say there wasn't a massive amount of pressure on that game. For weeks we've been saying, "Oh my God, this game is huge! Like everything is on this game," or it's been a big London derby. There's been a lot on a lot of the games this season, and then suddenly we go three unbeaten, which is probably the first time we've done that for a long, long time. And it's almost as if they thought, okay, well we're in a bit more of a comfortable place now, so we don't need to do everything that we should be doing. It just felt like a really kind of fraudulent performance to me. They
Yeah,
just weren't
that's a
doing
good
the
word.
absolute basics of
Yeah.
what you need to be doing, not just in the Premier League, in any game that you go to, you would expect that, and you just did not see that today.
Yeah, and you're saying I know the point you're making, Mark, with regards to because of the performances that have come before, other games have felt like they've had more on them. But I was looking at the table today and thinking, well, it's important we win this one, or at least get something out of the game, because that congested area, because the table is still pretty congested, but with the results that have gone on over the weekend, we are drifting away. There's the sort of the top 4 and 5, then there's a few teams that are sort of bunched up, and now we're sort of it feels like, we are slap bang in the middle of that mid-table nothing. I don't have
Yeah,
any
yeah.
concerns about us being relegated, but after this result, I kind of feel like any sort of ambition to get up into the top 4, I just don't see that happening now. I don't see us getting into the top 4 from here.
We were a little bit in jest about being back in the top four race, weren't we? But it was only a couple of weeks ago where we were saying basically the season's done. The league season's done, isn't it? I mean, we've started pretty poorly. Even if we go on a really, really good run, it's almost inconceivable that we'll finish high up the league. We might sneak in European places, but there's looking at that. This isn't with a team and a squad that's decimated now with injuries. It's the same injuries. It's the same players that are out. And we've had players come in and they've had their settling in period, as it were. Kolo Muani shows glimpses of being a good player, but he's not changed our world, has he? He's not come in and made us a good team. He's not that level of player. Kudus came in with a lot of hype. He's put in some decent performances, but I've got some real concerns about his lack of ability to change it. He's almost coming across as a one-trick pony now, and it's
That's
starting to
exactly the phrase I was about to say.
it's
Exactly.
like, well, good players can do different things, and so it's not so easy to defend against, because all Forest did was just get 3 players over to him every single time, knowing that he'd run into one of them. Because he doesn't lay it off, does he? He doesn't give it at
Exactly.
all.
And it's exactly that. If you know he's not going to pass the ball, then you can just flood him because that you're not giving up any space because he's not going to try and find that space. It just seems to be, yeah, it's exactly that. There's just a complete lack of awareness. And at no point does he ever look for that pass.
No.
And I think that's the frustrating thing is that there are runs being made around him. Xavi's making runs, Richarlison's making runs. There are runs being made that he could hit, but he slows the game down every single time he gets the ball in a potential breakaway position. He stops because it's almost like he wants players to take on because that's what he does. And as you said last week, it was Xavi that put that first time ball in for the opening goal against Brentford. If that had been Kudus, do we think that ball would have gone straight in? Almost certainly not.
It's maddening how quick and powerful he is, and yet he seems to get into that final third and put on the brakes because he's looking to then take the player on rather than putting a cross in or finding a cutback. I thought Forest were all over us. Physically, it wasn't a battle.
And again, we just lose the midfield so easily, don't we? It's been a problem for so many years, and I just don't understand why nobody can fix it. And Richarlison's had a couple of reasonable games on the trot. We sort of called him out a little bit after the Man United game because he's massively over celebrating a deflection, basically. Then actually had a couple of decent games, hasn't he? So you look at the team when it comes out and you think, well, actually, yeah, this is starting to work now. I don't think, to be fair to Richarlison, it was just his issue, but I don't think he had a touch of any quality at any point in that game. There was no touches in the box, certainly, which is the whole point of having a formation like that. He's supposed to be the pinnacle. And Thomas Frank again says, "Oh, we're going to go and be aggressive, and we're going to go at them." We have one shot in the first half, one shot, and that was the only shot on target we had all game. I mean, we weren't anywhere near in a game against a reasonably proficient Nottingham Forest side. Let's be honest. Away games in the Premier League are difficult. There's no gimmies, but a good team expects to give Nottingham Forest a really good game, and that was probably the easiest game Nottingham Forest will have all season against Tottenham Hotspur side that apparently are in the Champions League and are or certainly have ambitions to be consistently at that level. Up until last season, finished consistently in the top top six of the league. So again, I just think we are being gaslit almost around how bad Spurs are from a starting point when Thomas Frank took over. The league season last season was an anomaly. Was not the norm at all. That was
Yeah.
coming off the back of years and years of finishing in European places or certainly challenging for European places. I just think you look at that and you wonder what's going on, because for the Premier League players to be that bad at passing each other.
Yeah, and let's remember that Ange lost his job because of the league position. And what
Yes.
do? We went out and got a Premier League manager in Thomas Frank. So there really is no excuse for the performances being this inconsistent, and especially for that performance today. You're talking about Richarlison. His touch was abysmal today. The amount of times he could not hold the ball up at all. The amount of times it came into him and it went 2 or 3 yards away from him or just went past him. It was so poor.
But it's bizarre, isn't it? Like, because we're saying it was bad, it really was shocking. Like, Van de Ven had a couple of really
Yes.
wayward passes. Xavi must have given the ball away 4, 5, 6 times. Everybody was.
Bentancur can't seem to pass it more than 5 yards, can he? He just can't find anybody. His angles are all wrong.
One of my pet hates is headers that go to no one. Like, if the ball's coming down, like just sticking your nut on it and it not going. These are Premier League football players. If you're going to put your nut on it, then either make it a clearing header, so you're actually putting some distance on it, angle it to someone who's on your team, or take it down. Do something with it. It drives me mad the amount of times you see a ball come into someone and they let it come off their head because it's in and around that area.
The second goal
Mad.
absolutely summed that up, didn't it? Because it comes out of the air. I think Romero was trying to get it to Kudos, who was just behind the referee, but there was a Forest player just in front. So Romero, you could see what he was going to do. Kudus made barely an effort to try and challenge for the ball. I think he got brushed off by the ref. No way Kudus can get brushed off by a referee normally, is there? He just couldn't be bothered. So then it goes wide, and Bentancur, he defends like I defend. He dropped the shoulder and he went 15 yards the wrong way. He absolutely fell for it. And then the cross is a looping cross, and Vicario is going to be on the end of it because it's gone in the back of the net. But the ball shouldn't have been anywhere near going in like that point, is it?
Those goals do happen, right? And no keeper is expecting that to get looped in the top corner from out there. The reason that goal happens, as far as I'm concerned, is Bentancur. Not only does he get sold for the dummy, but if you look back on the replay, they had a camera perfectly positioned behind Hudson-Odoi, right? And you can see Bentancur go past him, turn, and stand.
Stop. Yeah.
He stops. He doesn't then turn and make any sort of gesture. Like, fling yourself in front of him, wave your hand, do something, but don't stand there and watch the guy cross it in because you've already been done. Get yourself in some sort of position.
But it was just again, going back to the passing, and as you say, they're Premier League footballers. To me, I look at that, and there's only one thing that I come up with as a conclusion to how it's possible for Premier League footballers to be that bad at passing, and it just goes upon again these sort of non-negotiables. It's got to be in the head. It's just a complete lack of focus about what they're doing. Just it's just sloppy. It's just
But then you say that, right? But where does that lack of focus come from? So lack of focus can come from plenty of places. It can come from to fatigue. It can come from, a mismatch of players on the pitch. It can come from scenarios that happen through the game. Like I said before, my biggest concern is that the reason their focus isn't there is that they are not playing for Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
They are not invested in whatever it is he's trying to do.
yeah.
I think that from what I understand about Thomas Frank, he loves a meeting and a briefing. I just think it's almost like they don't really understand what he's trying to do. So one player is taking one thing on board and doing something, and then another player is taking something slightly different from it, and then the that 10-yard pass on the angle, they're just getting their angles wrong, and because I don't believe that they're miskicking it. I think they're 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 doing something where it's just completely misaligned.
But it's a bunch of individuals, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a complete bunch of
We
individuals.
were saying, well, the only thing that was reasonably exciting was Kolo Muani would pick it up and try and take on 15 players, and he looked like at some point he was going to bundle through. But that was our plan A today. There wasn't anything that was a good pattern of play that was going to create anything. And again, the worry I have with Thomas Frank is he's one thing that he does seem to want us to do is get it out wide and cross it in. But you're playing Forest with two of the best centre backs at defending open play crosses, and a manager who built his reputation in being strong at defending the box.
Well, he was a centre back, wasn't he?
Yeah,
That's what. If there's anything Sean Dyche knows about, it is defending
yeah,
balls coming into the box
and
and
we
knocking them
concede
away.
goal after goal after goal from just the edge of our box. But we haven't had a shot from the edge of the box apart from Polina's goal against Wolves.
Yeah. And if we're talking attitude again, we had another situation with Spence where it feels like there was a little bit of aggro as he was being subbed.
He can't have possibly thought that he had played well enough to not warrant being dragged off.
None of those players. He could have taken the
Exactly.
whole team. Frank could have
Exactly.
gone on himself and it would have been a better performance. And again, I come back to, if you are a player and it's Alex Ferguson subbing you off or Arsene Wenger subbing you off or a manager who you are 100% behind, Eddie Howe, if you've got the backing of the group and the fans, if everyone's together, you don't see that. That doesn't happen. People go, this is for the betterment of the team. Off I go. Let's crack on. We're in a losing position. I'm delaying things. But that hasn't come into Spence's head there. It didn't come into his head a few weeks back when him and Van der Ven seemed to blank him coming off the pitch. So that attitude element is still a really big worry for me. Do we need to as well talk about the first goal? Because I think there's some chat around that around Vicario as well.
Do you know what? I'm probably going to be controversial here, but that is a mistake, and it's completely messed it up. It's terrible. All Archie Gray has to do is ping it first time. It wasn't a
Yep.
bad ball into him. He was in enough space.
No.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
know, it's mistakes can happen. The unfortunate thing is that's probably the third or fourth goal we've conceded like that in 12 months, where Vicario's given it to whoever's playing in that role, and they've got to be bundled off it or whatever. And it just looks like we're just really bad at doing that.
And it completely changed the sort of the tone of the game because I did think in the first 15 minutes we were all right. But as soon as that goal went in, and I think because of the manner of the goal as well, it just felt like sort of the batteries had been taken out, and it seemed to scramble everybody's brains because that was it. We completely forgot how to play football, and I don't think it is controversial, Graham. I think. I think you could make an argument that Vicario was not at fault for not the prime reason for both those goals going in. And I'll say this as well: after the booing that he got, and after the way he came out after that game, and fronted up to the media. Apparently, I didn't see this on the footage, but I read about it after the match. He went up to the Tottenham fans and was apparently apologising. What you can definitely say about Vicario is that he has some proper stones on him, and at least he seems to be fronting up.
Yeah, taking some accountability for it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and fair play to him for that.
I think that if Vicario was having a good season, he would get away with it.
Yeah,
He would
maybe.
get away with that goal definitely, and it's just a fluke. The fact that he isn't having a particularly good season, let's be honest, um, he's making mistakes and he's looking like he's letting in goals that he should really save. It's just a pile on, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the trouble, isn't it? I mean, like you say, with that is the life of a goalkeeper. Unfortunately, I mean, I agree. I don't think he was culpable at all for those two goals. I think, yeah, as much as you hate to say it, Archie Gray has got to own that 100%.
And
It's
I
a
think he
pass
will.
that you would. Yeah, he will. Yeah, I think he fronted up to it well. And he didn't hide away in the rest of the game. He
He
was
played
the
all
one that
right.
got that. Yeah, he was the one that got that shot on target in that first half. It was a decent
He's by
effort.
no means our worst player at all.
And he'll learn from that. But that pass is a pass that gets made in every single Premier League game every single week. And as you say, you can't expect to take a touch there. You know that the
Yeah,
striker
I
is
mean,
going to be
you
on you.
shouldn't even need to, should you?
No,
I
it should
mean,
do it
it
automatic.
wasn't
It's
a bad pass. All he's got
yeah,
to do is lay it off to Romero. But it
exactly.
wasn't even it wasn't a
No,
difficult scenario. He's messed up, but that can ultimately happen. It's how you deal with that. There's plenty of time in the game to get back into it, but we never ever looked like doing so. So Thomas Frank says that we are more solid at the back. Do we feel like we're really more solid at the back? Really?
absolutely not.
No, I think we seem to be vulnerable to. I mean, we've said this before, at least a couple of pods ago, um, from those long range shots. Still, he talks about the intensity and pressing. We don't seem to do that in our final third. We seem to be far more positional, far more zonal, if you like, rather than actually closing players down. We seem to have this thought that if we sort of put a sort of a semicircle of protection around our goal, it's not going to do it. Not at this level. Not with the quality of players. I mean, that third goal, my goodness, that was an absolute belter. But again, he's not closed down.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
given the
Nobody
time to
ideas was.
shoot.
They very nearly scored in the first 5 minutes, didn't they? And it was their first chance, and the header came from around the penalty spot, maybe a bit nearer. And I think we had 4 players like 5 yards out looking at him.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no uh, communication. We just seem to want to go as deep as possible and hope it hits one. I don't sort of get what the
It's
idea is really.
bizarre. It's really bizarre because you always kind of learnt when you were playing, and then the kind of perceived wisdom is stop the cross, stop the cross, stop the cross from getting in. You always hear it up and down the country, and yet there doesn't seem to be any great desire to do that. It's almost as if they think, well, that's all right, we'll let them put it in there because we're confident we've got so many people back that will deal with it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I say, it's really strange, and I would love to know what they're working on in training. I would love to know what the team talk is, and how Thomas Frank sees these games in his mind. What's meant to be happening, because and kind of to our point, really, how much is it that either A, the players don't really understand what they're supposed to be doing, or B, just in themselves not putting in the effort that they need to get out and block that shot and get out and stop that cross and get out and get in their faces, because again, we didn't press high at all today.
And players are funny animals, aren't they? They can look worldies under one coach and then like absolute disasters under another. And they're precious people, and they've all got egos, and you've got to manage those egos, and they've all got cliques. And but at the end of the day, the good managers manage that. And I just listening to us all chat, and I just wonder, how quickly is this all going to become untenable? Because
Mm.
he's getting booed off almost every other game. And
So is this? So you floated this idea on the chat grab. Is this where we have a look at the Franco meter?
Yeah, I think we need to introduce the Francometer.
All right.
So the idea of the Francometer is that there's three of us, and every week we'll decide whether we think Frank is nearer being in or being out. And I thought, well, obviously there's going to be some weeks where we'll all go Frank out, and realistically it's not. But I think if we get to say 3 weeks in a row when we're all Frank out, that's the point where it's untenable, isn't it?
Is this where we send an official letter into the club?
This is where we send a very, very strongly worded email
Okay,
into the club.
into
Really.
Vinay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so the Francometer is just an indication how we're feeling about Thomas Frank's tenure, if you like. So after what we've watched this week, so let's take into account, the Slavia Prague game as well, and the Nottingham Forest yeah, game. Where are we at with Frank?
So I am Frank in on the Francometer this week. I don't see I don't see any positives in getting rid of him at this stage, but it's an in that is definitely wavering.
Yeah. Also, Frank in. As I said at the start, to me, I think today's game was very much more about players rather than the manager. And I understand your point about the manager having to inspire the players, but I think the players need to have a good look at themselves today. I wouldn't put that on Frank. So 3 games unbeaten. Hopefully this is just a blip. Frank in.
I think I'm just about on the Frank inside, because there's some Frank in sense this week in the way that
Very nice.
we're we're coming up to a
Very nice.
transfer window. There's been some comments around they've been planning this transfer window since the day after the closure of the last transfer window. We're under a new idea of ownership, if you like. So let's stick it out. I do think every game, ramps up the pressure though. I think, bad performance against Liverpool and it all starts again, doesn't it?
Tell you what, it will start again, and it'll be very difficult for any of them to get off that naughty list.
So this week then is 3 Frankins and we'll keep track of it.
Do we want to have a look at the older predictions list? Because I think
Yeah.
I know it's going to be grim reading, but we might as well get it over with.
Yes. Well, a tale of 2 games in the predictions this week. Slavia Prague, we were all very confident of a comfortable win, and so it proved. Me and Tom both went for a 4-0 win, so we get 1 point each for the result. Graham, for the second game in a row, spot on with his 3-0 prediction. None of us got the goal scorers, though, so 2 points for him. And then Forest, well, a complete nil point all round. So, scores on the doors are Graham has 15, I have 17, Tom in the lead with 20.
Right. So what do we think about Liverpool, who are terrible, absolutely shocking team, terrible manager. Um, they've got
Oh
they've
no,
got
Graham!
Have you
like
been reading excerpts from the Mohammed Salah autobiography again?
yeah.
My life on a train.
Yeah, I don't know what's coming. Mark, do you want to have a go first?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. It's really, really hard to know which Spurs team and which Liverpool team will turn up. It could be any combination of the two. As you say, I mean, Liverpool got a good win, although actually Brighton had a number of good chances. I mean, that was not a straightforward win for Liverpool at all. So they're struggling, but again, obviously we're struggling. So I'm going to sit myself on the fence and I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And I'm going to pick Richarlison as the goal scorer.
All right, well, I'll give this another crack, but I'm not. I've got to say, I'm not confident about this. That was a really poor performance today. And the one thing that worries me is that against Brighton, it seemed that 3 players, who I think 2 of them have probably been Liverpool's best players, but one of them started to seem like he was getting into his groove, and that was Florian Wirtz. And then you've got Szoboszlai and you've got Ekitike. And I think if Wirtz finds his feet in that Liverpool team, and if Ekitike and Szoboszlai continue their form, I know they're shaky at the back, and I think we'll probably score, but I could see it being a struggle for us. We might lose that one, and I'm going to say a 3-1 loss to Liverpool. Our scorer is going to be Kolo Muani.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an emotional person, so that I don't flip-flop between being overly positive or overly negative. Absolutely not. But after today's game, I wouldn't be surprised if we get done like 4-1 or something stupid like that. But let's try and be a little bit separated from that rubbish that we saw today and take a more balanced view. I'll go with Mark. I think it's going to be 1-1. But I think the scorer will be, drum roll, please.
Go on,
Don't
do
do
it.
it.
Go
Don't
on.
do it.
No, do it. Do it. Do it. Oh.
It's going to be Romero. It's going to be Romero.
Hey! You
Because
know what?
the reason I
You've
say this
really
every
cheered
week,
me up there.
the reason I say this every week is because I don't have confidence in us scoring from a well constructed goal. So I just think he will get on the end of a corner. He's quite. He's got a reasonable goal scoring record. He'll just go up front for no reason and get on the end of something. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it, and one day it'll be right and it'll be great, and then I'll be happy again. So 1-1, Christian Romero.
I hope you boys are right.
After that set of really positive predictions for the Liverpool game, I do think we need cheering up.
Play that jingle.
Tom's teaser.
Right, chaps, I've got a simple one for you this week. It's a case of 50-50. This is Tottenham Hotspur, higher or lower. We're going to play 3 rounds, appearances, debut age, and goals. And we're going to use the starter player for all these categories. Our starter player is going to be the irrepressible Gareth Bale. So, Graham, we're going to start with you this week because you are trailing in Tom's teaser. I'm going to start with Gareth Bale's appearances, and then this is in the Premier League, substitute appearances also included. And you need to tell me the next player, whether you think it's higher or lower. So, starting with appearances, Gareth Bale, 166. So, your player, higher or lower? Danny Rose.
Higher.
Higher. Bale, 166. Danny Rose, 156.
No way! I'm
Really?
really surprised at that. Well, that was a good Tom's teaser, wasn't it?
No, we continue.
Wow. I am really surprised by that.
Rose, 156. You have Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Higher or lower than 156?
Higher.
No, got to be
Pierre-Emile
lower.
Højbjerg is 145. It's lower. Graham, Højbjerg was 145.
Yeah.
You get Eric Lamela. Higher or lower?
He was there for so long, it must be higher.
Was injured a lot.
He was injured a lot, but he was there for about 46 years, wasn't he?
Including substitute appearances, I think that would
Yeah.
drag that number up.
And you're right. Eric Lamela, 177. So the first point goes to Graham. Mark, we're over to you. Lamela, 177. Lucas Moura, higher or lower?
Surely a lot lower.
A lot lower.
I mean, probably not a lot
100.
lower, otherwise you wouldn't have included him. But
152. So, Mark, you do get a point. And Graham, final one in the appearance round. You go from Lucas Moura, 152, to Jermaine Genius. Higher or lower?
Jermaine Genius, again, in my mind, he played a decent amount. And he played for Spurs for a decent amount of time. So, again, compared to Lucas Moura, who was just off the bench mostly, or a squad player, I'm going to have to go higher.
Graham's going higher than 152. And it is 155. He gets the point and he wins the appearance round. It's 2 to Graham, 1 to Mark. So, Mark, I'm going to start with you this time on the debut age round. And of course, we go back to our irrepressible Gareth Bale stat, which was he made his debut when he was 18 years old and 40 days. That's 18 years old and 40 days. So your player, to say higher or lower, or older and younger, is Oliver Skip.
older.
is correct. Oliver Skip was 18 years old and 79 days. Graham, your player is Aaron Lennon. So remember, Skip was 18 years old and 79 days. Aaron Lennon.
Now, I know he made his debut for Leeds ridiculously young. And we bought him. But you know what? I'm going to go younger.
Skip was 18 years and 79 days. Lennon was 18 years and 133 days. He was older.
I was going to say, I didn't think he was 17.
Okay, Lennon, 18 years, 133 days. Mark, Archie Gray.
Oh, no, younger. He played as a... Yeah, because he's only 18 now, isn't he? He's got to be younger. He played last season for us.
So, yeah, Lennon was 18 years and 133 days. Archie Gray was 18 years and 160 days. He was older.
So he's 19 now, is he? I thought he was still 18.
There you go.
That's annoying.
Okay, we go from Archie Gray, 18 years and 160 days, to Troy Parrott, Graham.
I'll go younger, because I think he was probably thrown in nice and early because we thought he was the next Kane.
Troy Parrott was 17 and 305 days. He was younger. That's another point to you, Graham. Which leaves you, Mark.
What's the score at the moment on this one? 1-1.
This is 1-1 on the debut ages, yeah. Which takes us to Bergvall. And you're trying to look for a age relevant to Troy Parrott, 17 and 305 days.
Well, 17 when he made his debut? I don't think so. I'm going to say older.
And you are right, Bergvall, 18 years old and 198 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Older, so you'll be winning that round. So the combined scores at the minute are Graham 3, Mark 3. This is good. We go to the final round of goals. And back to our wonderful Gareth Bale, who scored 53. Graham, you're first in this round. And we're starting with Darren Anderton.
Oh, one of my all-time favourite players.
Higher or lower than 53 goals?
Again, it sounds about right for Darren Anderton, to be honest, but I think he was a little bit higher.
Higher than Gareth Bale's 53. He scored 34.
What? 34?
So lower.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah.
surprised at that.
I will say at the minute, I'm currently using 11v11.com for these stats, so that's where I'm pulling this data from. Mark, your player is Stefan Everson. Higher or lower than 34 goals scored
Stefan
by Darren
Everson,
Anderton?
one of my favourite players.
Absolutely.
34 goals. I mean, he surely wouldn't be my favourite player or one of my favourite players if he'd scored less than 34 goals as a Tottenham centre-forward, right? But it's entirely possible. We were awful back then.
What do you mean back then?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go lower.
Lower than 34.
Yeah, because I can't, I mean, I would be very surprised if he ever scored more than 15 in a season.
You should have backed your old hero.
Oh.
Stefan Everson got 36 goals, which takes us
Stefan.
back to our friend Aaron Lennon. Graham, less or more than 36 goals in his
Again,
many years
yeah,
with us.
he seemed to score a few goals, but did he sort of score more than 5 a season? Again, I really like Aaron Lennon. I think he's one of, from that era, one of our top players. So again, I'm gonna say higher, just because I'm a positive person. And
Higher than 36. Okay.
I don't think there's any chance he scored higher than 36.
Aaron Lennon scored. 26 is way off.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, the door is
To me,
open,
though,
Mark.
36 for a winger over like 8 years.
Yeah, but every time he got to the byline, he put it out for a goal kick.
Wow. Don't you diss Lennon.
Okay, Mark, we're going to come back to that, but let's crack on with the game. Aaron Lennon, 26 goals. You get Dimitar Berbatov.
Oh, shut up, Tom. Come on, you might as well have said Harry Kane.
Higher or lower than Dimitar Berbatov?
I mean, surely. Oh, see, now I'm worried because.
I mean, he probably
As you
scored
say-
that in one season, didn't he?
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm thinking. He must be. But then why would he have said it if it wasn't a trick question? Oh, I'm going to fall for it anyway. He's got to be higher than 26, surely.
And Berbatov scored 27.
Yes.
One more than Aaron
Wow.
Lennon.
Yeah, but what, how many seasons was he with us?
2.5, was it?
Really?
Didn't he leave mid-season?
No, he left right at the beginning, didn't he, went on strike.
Right.
Went to-
Oh, that was it, yeah. Graham, you need this. So we go from Dimitar Berbatov to Christian Eriksen. Berbatov got 27. Christian Eriksen got what?
I love Christian Eriksen, and again, it just feels like he should have scored more than 26 goals. I just
27.
can't imagine 27 as well. Yeah, I'm gonna say lower, just because I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself now. So lower.
Okay. I think it's a good thing, Graham, not to trust yourself. It's a very good thing not to trust yourself because Christian Eriksen scored 51 goals for us. So don't trust yourself at all, Graham. Yeah.
51 Premier League goals.
Yeah.
I think this came up on a previous pod, didn't it? I do remember on a previous Tom's teaser, we were both amazed at Eriksen's stats.
He is. I rate him as highly as Modric.
I loved Eriksen.
That's
I loved
how we
Eriksen.
should think about Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, I love
Which
it.
means for another week, Graham, the combined scores across the rounds means that Mark wins 4-3, which takes Mark's lead in Tom's teaser to 8-5. Graham, what are you doing?
Tom's teaser.
Well, let's get some balance. Come on. I enjoyed last week's one. Let's bring on second week of Positive Spurs.
Now everybody, haven't you heard? Here's a guy that can polish a turd. When you think you've got nothing to give, he'll stay positive. Positive Spurs.
Now, I expected this to be a tough gig, if I'm honest. I didn't come into this with any delusions of this being easy at all. I was expecting something to cling on to today, but the only thing I can drag up out of that game is, my goodness, that yellow kit is nice, isn't it?
It's all right, yeah.
Lovely.
The old school badge, the nice
Yes, please.
yellow. It probably makes it worse so they can't pass to each other wearing that. The green kits, you could understand it. But
Yeah.
what I would say at the moment is that a lot of the designs that are coming out at the moment, I can really get on board with. There was quite a lot of the training stuff that came out. I really like the old school badges coming back, the training top that goes with it as well. Yeah, so that was my positive day. I was really, really impressed with what they were wearing.
And I'll tell you what, on a day like today, I think it is a sad indictment that that's the positive thing. I got to say the kits this year, yeah, they're nice. Let's not talk about how much they cost, but
No.
but I think this year they've got the kits right.
It's been a bad day, but at least we look good being that rubbish.
Well, there we go. And what we do have now is a week to lick our wounds. No midweek game. We just have to hope that Frank is going to get into these players' heads before the next Liverpool game, because I'm pretty sure it can't be that bad. And at least I think we can feel like we can give Liverpool a proper game rather than sort of rolling over like we did today.
Yeah. We live in hope. Come on, you Spurs.
We always live in hope. Come on, let's do this. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.